Tae receives the results, smirking and saying that no matter how he tests, the results will be the same. Even so, the pregnancy thing can't be hidden if you want to. Right now, Da Lang Han might not see it, but in 2 months, Van Tung interrupts the doctor, saying that it won't even take 2 months. He will take the young master back to Vanjia right now. Van Tung looks off into the distance, reminiscing about the past. The last wish of the family head was to bring the missing young master Venjiat back to Venjia. Right now, after a hard time finding him, I absolutely cannot let anyone stop him from going back to Venjia. After saying this, he instructs the doctor to find a few bodyguards for Kinyan. However, this has to be done quietly, without disturbing the second line, to avoid putting the young master in danger. Inside Da Lang Han's car, after receiving the results, Kinyan bluntly says that since things are like this now, keeping me by your side is unnecessary, right? Da Lang Han, hearing this, looks pitiful, taking the blame for making you suffer so much. So, from start to finish, it's all meaningless. Naturally, he's wrong. Even without children, he still wants to spend a lifetime with you. Inheritance is important, but not as important as you. Seeing that he still won't let go, Kinyan decides to lay it all out, pushing Da Lang Han away and firmly saying, "Let's get a divorce." As soon as he finishes speaking, Da Lang Han goes crazy, his voice rising that he won't divorce. Kinyan doesn't back down either, saying if he wants kids, he can go find someone else. "I can't do that. You don't need to cling to me anymore." Da Lang Han grips Kinyan's wrist tightly, insisting that he doesn't need anyone else. Even if he uses the Da and Cam families as excuses, Da Lang Han still refuses to compromise. In the end, Kinyan can only pretend to agree to everything. Hearing him, it seems like he has to use his last resort and return to Dajia. Da Lang Han still hasn't given up on wanting Kinyan to get pregnant. He thinks if there's no way in the country, then he'll go abroad. Da Lang Han is exhausted, completely unaware of Kinyan's small movements as he pours water for him. Kinyan pours a glass of water that has been drugged for Da Lang Han, nervously watching him drink it all. The drug takes effect very quickly. Just as Da Lang Han realizes something is off, he passes out. Kinyan gently takes out the divorce papers and the ink for his fingerprint. When Da Lang Han's finger is pressed onto the divorce papers, they are officially going their separate ways. Goodbye. Da Lang Han says that after giving Da Lang Han the drug, Kinyan escapes from the Da family. He hides for more than half a month, and Kinyan receives news that Da Lang Han has been sending people to search for him everywhere. Kinyan understands that if he keeps hiding like this, there will definitely come a day when Da Lang Han finds him. So he decides to wait until the divorce procedures are completed, and then immediately go abroad. His best friend is very concerned, reminding Kinyan to be extremely careful during this time. Kinyan sees Do Kyung being so anxious, telling him to leave first, but soon after, an unexpected event occurs. One day, while Kinyan is out buying personal items, he notices a suspicious car following him. In a hurry, Kinyan quickens his pace, wanting to get home quickly. Unexpectedly, the car quickly catches up. 2 strong men get out of the car, one on each side, controlling Kinyan. Then, they pull out a drugged handkerchief and cover his mouth. Kinyan quickly loses consciousness. In his daze, Kinyan thinks that these are Da Lang Han's henchmen. Seeing Dui Kung acting all dragon-like, I told him to leave first, but then, oh my god, something unexpected happened. One day, while Kinyan was out buying personal stuff, he noticed a suspicious car following him. He freaked out and hurried home, but no way. That car was right on his tail. 2 burly guys jumped out of the car, one on each side, and totally cornered Kinyan. Then, they pulled out a drugged handkerchief to cover his mouth. Kinyan quickly lost consciousness. In his hazy state, he thought these guys were minions of Da Lang Han. The person sitting in the front seat turned around, and to my surprise, it was Cam Due. Cam Due sent someone to take Kinyan to an abandoned warehouse. Kinyan tried to keep his cool and sat up to question Cam Due about why he was kidnapped. Cam Due moved closer, sitting right in front of Kinyan, one hand gripping his wrist and the other lifting Kinyan's chin. He said venomously, "Why?" "Because Da Lang Han is frantically searching for you, and you have his mark on you. You're pregnant now. Sooner or later, you'll return to his side. By then, my plan will be ruined." Kinyan didn't understand him at all. He had already escaped and would never return to Da Lang Han again. Why was Cam Due still here? His hands were so cruel, and the madness in Cam Due's eyes was evident. If you disappeared completely, my painstakingly crafted plan would succeed. Kinyan's heart skipped a beat. Was Cam Due planning to kill him? The next moment, he saw Cam Due commanding the bodyguards to pour gasoline on the floor. He casually waved his hand, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Don't hate me. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself. Why were you with Da Long Han? I've already sent your location to Da Long Han. When he gets here, he'll just pick up your body. As long as you die in front of him, he won't look for you anymore. Then my plan can succeed smoothly. After saying that, Cam Due coldly lit a match and without hesitation threw it at Ki Nian. In an instant, the flames spread everywhere, engulfing everything. By the time Da Long Han arrived, wanting to rush into the warehouse to save Ki Nian, the fire was already too overwhelming. The bodyguards tried to hold him back, preventing Da Long Han from rushing inside. Da Long Han ignored everything, escaping from the bodyguards, and without hesitation, charged towards the flames. He shouted Ki Nian's name but received no response. Da Long Han felt hollow, his whole being dissipating. Just then, firefighters grabbed Da Long Han, trying to pull him out. He struggled with all his might, but soon, due to lack of air, he stumbled and was dragged outside. When he regained consciousness, he looked at the hellish fire behind him, finally breaking down in tears. In the end, Ki Nian had also achieved nirvana and was reborn. He returned with his son. At this moment, Da Long Han had been taken to the hospital. In his mind was the scene of that fire. Ki Nian said goodbye to him. Da Long Han wanted to pull Ki Nian back. He knew he was wrong. He begged Ki Nian to come back, wanting to spend his whole life making it up to him, but Ki Nian still chose to jump into the flames. Da Long Han would never find his Ki Nian again. Da Long Han was jolted awake, and his first reaction was to find Ki Nian. Which hospital room was Ki Nian in? The assistant held Da Long Han back. Young Master Da, the fire was too big. We couldn't save young Master Ki. Da Long Han didn't want to believe it. His eyes filled with bloodshot fury, his gaze containing madness. If you dare to be dizzy about him, I'll kill you. No matter what the assistant said, Da Long Han wouldn't believe it. He went crazy, wanting to burst out of the hospital room. You all lied to me. I have to find Ki Nian. Madame Da stopped Da Long Han, saying that Ki Nian's death was an accident, and moreover, it was a tragedy. Into the flames. Ye Long Han will never find Chi Nian again. Ye Long Han was startled awake. His first reaction was to find Chi Nian. Which hospital room is Chi Nian in? The assistant held Ye Long Han back. Young Master Ye. The fire was too big. We couldn't save young Master Chi. Ye Lang Han didn't want to believe it. His eyes were bloodshot, filled with madness. If you dare to touch him, I will kill you. No matter what the assistant said, Ye Lang Han wouldn't believe it. He went crazy, wanting to rush out of the hospital room. You all lied to me. I have to find Chi Nian. Madame Ye stopped Ye Long Han, saying that Chi Nian's death was an accident, and moreover, it was a tragedy. The scumbag doesn't matter. I'll be heartbroken for a few days and then it's over. This directly makes Ya Lang Han furious. He pushes her away. She's not just my girlfriend, it's you guys who forced her to go. It's all your fault. You guys pushed her to death. In the end, he collapses, sitting on the floor. It's really me. I didn't care about her wishes. Forcing her to become an Omega means I didn't cherish. Time and time again, I pushed her to the brink. Ya Long Han gives himself a slap. It's all my fault. I deserve to die. Nian Nian, please don't abandon me. In a private villa, in the North City, Chi Nian stares blankly at the strange man in front of him. You are AI. Why do you call me young master? Van Tong raises his hand to signal the doctor to go out first. Then, he gently reaches out to pat Chi Nian's head. Finally, I've found you. Finally, under the 9 springs, the old master and mistress can rest. Easy. Then he takes out a photo from his pocket, holds it up in front of Chi Nian, and begins to explain. You were originally Van Ji, the only son of the richest man in Van City, Van An's son. Back then, the mistress and master took you on a trip, unexpectedly encountering a surprise attack from an enemy. In the chaos, they lost you. Until their death, they always said they wanted to find you. Chi Nian finally understands. No wonder they were so biased. It turns out he's not the son of the Chi family. Chi Nian gazes at the woman in the photo for a long time, easily recognizing that he looks a lot like her. Van Tong expresses regret. If only we had found you sooner. How wonderful that would have been. Then, he takes Chi Nian out to the balcony, pointing to the vast ocean in front of them. Young master, will you agree to return to Van City with me, to recognize your roots? Chi Nian naturally agrees. He wants to throw away everything here, but Chi Nian has one condition. He gently places his hand on his stomach. You must ensure its safe birth. Van Tong replies, you can rest assured, I'll use my life to guarantee it. Chi Nian looks towards the horizon. Ya Lang Han, right now I can't fight you, I can only avoid you as much as possible. But wait until the day I return, I will make you pay for everything you've done. 4 years later, The top star Ta Hu Trak arrives in North City, and all the major newspapers mention news about him. At this moment, he's coming back, turning to the man walking behind him, saying, "Are you jealous, babe? Very famous in North City, right? Remember to stick close, don't lose track of Tui Tui, don't let the crowd separate." Van Ji steps out of the car, holding the hand of a 3-year-old boy, Tui Tui, the mini version of Qin Yan, but he doesn't realize that the child in front of him is his own flesh and blood. After 4 years of hiding, Qin Yan just returned to the country and went straight to H search. Even the most famous artists under him are in awe. Hu Trach can't help but exclaim, "Van Zi, you're on H search. Now, your singing is even better than mine." Hearing this, Qin Yan teases and smiles. Today is a day dedicated to Ta Dai Min Tin. What do I have to sing H search for? Seeing Qin Yan still not believing, Ta Hu Trach loudly reads the hashtag title for him to hear. National Alpha Husband, Little Brother Wearing a Mask. Here's a hashtag for you. National Alpha Husband, Little Brother in a Mask. The beauty is so stunning that it makes you feel responsible, but then you get all upset and resentful. He's wearing a mask that's so famous it's trending with the hashtag I'm jealous to death. As for Qin Yan, he sees that the guy keeps rambling on with useless words, determined to kick him out. He turns around and hugs him. Tui Tui tells the boy to go to sleep and reminds Tahu Trach to go back to the room. At this moment, Tahu Trach suddenly says he has to participate in something in a few days. A reality show. The producers want him to bring a child, so he wants to take Tui Tui along. Hearing this, Qin Yan immediately refuses, saying he can't show his face in public right now. Tahu Trach doesn't give up and tries to convince him. "Don't worry, by then, you can use your identity as my manager to join the crew. I promise you won't be seen. Just let Tui Tui join the film crew for a bit. Besides, right now, you're Ven Jiet, not Qin Yan." Having reached this point, Qin Yan can only agree. A few days later, the two of them arrive at the main film crew. While Qin Yan is discussing the script and location with Tahu Trach, Tui Tui takes the chance to sneak out. He lets go of Qin Yan's hand and quietly pushes the door open to play outside. When he sees the swing in the park, his little eyes sparkle. Tui Tui happily sits on the swing. A tall figure stops right in front of him. That person is none other than Da Long Han. After 4 years apart, the father and son meet like this. Da Long Han looks into Tui Tui's clear eyes. Suddenly, he feels that this child looks so much like Qin Yan. This makes Da Long Han unexpectedly feel a strong sense of familiarity. Da Long Han squats down in front of Tui Tui. He reaches out to pat the boy's head, maybe because of their blood relation. Tui Tui, without any guard, throws himself into Da Long Han's arms. He happily praises, "Uncle, your scent is so pleasant. It smells like my alpha dad." Hearing this, Da Long Han curiously asks, "You say my scent is like your alpha dad's? The scent of your dad is the same?" Hearing about her dad makes Tuet a bit heartbroken. Her alpha dad has passed away. Tuet has never met him. Da Long Han looks at the little one with a pained expression, realizing that this child's life hasn't been easy. Da Long Han has no idea that the father, who has passed away, is actually him. Da Long Han wants to cheer Tui Tui up, so he suggests doing some magic for the boy. He reaches out and touches Tui Tui's ear, then magically pulls out some candies. Seeing this, Tui Tui is thrilled, excitedly saying, "Uncle, you turned candy out of your hand." Tui Tui looks at Da Long Han with gentle eyes, his voice soft. "Because I'm made of candy, I can turn anything into candy." Just then, suddenly, Qin Yan's voice calls out from behind. "Tui Tui, why are you wandering around? Hurry back." Tui Tui sees Qin Yan coming and politely says goodbye to Da Long Han, then runs towards Qin Yan. Da Long Han stands frozen as he watches Tui Tui leave with Qin Yan. He finally reacts to the familiar back and voice. This person feels so familiar. But as soon as that thought flashes in Da Long Han's mind, he directly denies it. "No, that's not Nian Nian. Nian Nian is no longer here. It's been 4 years. No matter how similar they look, it doesn't matter." Da Long Han has met Qin Yan again. Even if he's not sober, he's sure this is his Nian Nian from before. Yi Lang Han has met Qin Yan again. Even though he wasn't fully conscious, he was sure this was his Nian Nian from before. Speaking of Qin Yan bringing Tui Tui to the film set, it was totally a coincidence that Da Long Han met the boy. Instead of a reality show, Tui Tui and Tahu Trak participated in a project funded by Da Long Han's company, and the assistant reported the progress in front of the desk. They're ready for Da Tong's new reality show to air soon, and the hot star is Tahu Trach. And Tui Tui is the couple with the most highlights. I hope the show will blow up after this. Then, the assistant suggested Da Long Han check out the program's introduction. Da Long Han casually clicked on the video. When it got to Tahu Trach's segment, a familiar figure flashed by, leaving him stunned. Da Lang Han quickly paused the video and asked, "Assistant, is that AI?" He reached out to touch the teenager wearing a mask on the screen. How can they look so much alike? A wild thought crossed Da Lang Han's mind. Could it be that Tui Tui's guardian is really Qin Yen? What? Da Lang Han asked the assistant. This kid is usually brought to the film set by Ta Hu Trak's manager. Why did you say it's this person? They brought Tui Tui here, but this person is super mysterious, always wearing a mask and hardly communicates. Totally the opposite of Tui Tui's lively personality. Seeing Da Lang Han particularly interested in this kid, the assistant thought he was reminiscing about his unborn child with Cam Due. Hearing the assistant say that Tui Tui is loved by everyone, Da Lang Han unconsciously murmured, "So cute. Anyone who meets him will love him. If Qin Yen were still alive, my kid and Qin Yen would definitely be just as adorable." Then hearing the assistant say, if Cam Theo's child could have been kept, he would probably be as big as Tui Tui now. Hearing this, memories from that year flooded back. Back then, Da Lang Han accidentally overheard Cam Due's entire revenge plan. Cam Due had set up this scheme for the sake of his deceased lover to take revenge on Da Lang Han, the one who forced his lover to death. Cam Due also mentioned that the one Da Lang Han loved most also died at his hands. Cam Due was whispering in the room with his beloved, completely unaware that everything had been exposed. At that moment, Da Lang Han realized that the child he was carrying was not his. It was all just Cam Due's scheme. In response to Cam Due's plea for forgiveness, Da Lang Han coldly said, "You deceived me, used me. I can forgive you, but you shouldn't touch Qin Yen." He ordered his subordinates to get rid of the baby in Cam Due's belly, but he must not let him die. He wanted Cam Due to live a life worse than death for the rest of his life, to pay for Qin Yen. Thinking of this, Da Lang Han angrily slammed the table and immediately kicked the assistant out. Seeing him get angry, the assistant panicked and apologized. Before the assistant left, Da Lang Han tiredly called him, "Cancel all my schedules for this afternoon." Hearing this, the assistant hesitated a bit and said, "This afternoon you have a very important party arranged by Vun Tu Thursday." Da Lang Han, hearing this, impatiently shouted at the assistant, "Get out! Over here, Qin Yen!" Took Tui Tui away from the film set. He originally planned to wait for Ta Hu Trak to come back, but unexpectedly, the other party had to shoot some additional scenes and asked him to take Tui Tui back to the hotel first. Qin Yen was just about to call a car when he heard Ta Hu Trak say a special vehicle would arrive very quickly to pick him and Tui Tui up. After saying that, he hung up. Qin Yen hesitated a bit, looking at the luxury car parked in front of him. First, he let Tui Tui sit in the seat. After that, Qin Yen hesitated a bit, looking at the luxury car parked in front of him. Qin Yen first let Tui Tui sit in the seat. After that, reminding the boy to sit still and fasten his seatbelt. The little boy Shang Qin Yen went to sit down in the passenger seat to give directions. Little did he know that as soon as he sat down, he heard a voice calling out, "Nian Nian." When Qin Yen turned around in shock, he saw the face of Da Lang Han leaning in close. Qin Yen panicked and tried to back away. "Sorry, we got into the wrong car. Plus, I'm not the person you're talking about." Da Lang Han, who was now completely drunk, ignored everything and lunged toward Qin Yen. Tuet saw this and panicked, wanting to push him away. "You can't bully my dad." Da Lang Han brushed off all objections, hazily leaning in closer. "I won't mistake you. You are definitely my Nian Nian, who hasn't died." Qin Yen tried to calm himself down. "You're drunk. Please let me out of the car." Little did he know, as soon as he finished speaking, Da Lang Han reached out to pull down his mask. Venjia was indeed Qin Yen, but the Qin Yen of now was out of his reach. At that moment, Da Lang Han was reaching out toward Qin Yen's face, wanting to pull down the mask to confirm the identity of the person in front of him. Qin Yen reached out, grabbing Da Lang Han's wrist. "Stop!" Da Lang Han ignored Qin Yen's protests. "Just let me see your face a little bit, just a little." Qin Yen pushed Da Lang Han away with force, feeling annoyed. "I already explained to you, we got into the wrong car. I don't know you, and I'm definitely not the Nian Nian you're talking about. Please let us out of the car." Da Lang Han, with his blurry eyes, stared at him. "How? Can you say you don't know me? You're lying to me." Qin Yen cautiously looked at the person in front of him. "I'm Van Jut, the son of the richest man in Van Tan. I've never been to Bactan before. I'm here with friends to film. You've really got the wrong person, if you don't let me and my child. Go, I'll call the police." After saying that, Qin Yen looked back at Tui in the back seat. "Let's go." Da Lang Han hurriedly grabbed his hand. Don't go, Nian Nian, don't leave me. I really regret it. You don't know how I've lived these past 4 years. Not a moment has gone by without me missing you." Qin Yen took a deep breath and then reached out to hit the back of Da Lang Han's neck. Tuit. worriedly asked, Dad, is he going to die? Keenan scoffed. He's not going to die. He's just taking a little nap. But even though this guy had passed out, he still held tightly to the hem of Keenan's shirt. Keenan refused to let go. He was indeed hard to deal with. Then, Keenan mercilessly pushed him away. Da Lung Han was completely unconscious from the alcohol. Inside the car, Keenan got out and went to the back seat to hug Tuet and leave. He felt his head starting to hurt again. Tuet worriedly asked, Dad, is your head hurting again? He replied, if your head hurts, you have to take medicine to get better. Did you forget again? Keenan reassured his son, it's okay, it's not as bad as before. Tuet, don't worry. With you here, I don't have a headache at all. I was just scared earlier. Let's go. Tuet expressed that she wasn't scared. In fact, she had already met that uncle at the filming location, and he even gave her candy. He doesn't look like a bad person. Keenan, poor Tuet, had once told her not to accept things from strangers. Plus, bad people don't write the words bad person on their faces. Tuet nodded. I know, Dad. Read me the turtle story tonight, okay? After Keenan left, Da Lung Han slept in the car all night. The next day, he was picked up by Van Tur. I'll read the turtle story for you. After Keenan left, Ye Lung Han slept in the car all night. The next day, he was woken up by Wen Zi. Oh my god, last night in California was so loud, dude. You drank half and then just bolted. Phone calls ignored, texts unanswered, and Van Tu is outside the car just throwing shade non-stop. Da Lung Han has a bit of a headache, feeling kind of blah, and that guy from last night? His eyes were totally similar to Keenan's, but also not really. Like, why is he so dumb? Just because their eyes look alike, he thinks a stranger is Keenan? Van Tu was waiting forever for him to respond, then just straight up punched Da Lung Han. Like, what the heck? Da Lung Han is a bit annoyed, giving Van Tu a threatening look, saying, try hitting me again, I dare you. Da Lung Han pulls out his phone and asks Van Tu for a favor. Help me investigate this person. Van Tu is totally shocked, like, you don't even know this guy. Dude, ever since Keenan died, your brain kinda died too, huh? This guy is the new big shot of Van Jia. Van Tan, Van Jiet, they've got some blood ties to my family, and 4 years ago, Van Jiet was found. I got the news too, and Da Lung Han hurriedly looks for info about Van Jiet. This face, how could he mistake someone? Van Tu reassures him, I know this guy looks a lot like Keenan, but they're definitely not the same person. The identity of Van Jiet is totally different, and Da Lung Han catches on, asking when Van Jiet was found by Van Jia. Van Tu replies, 4 years ago. Why? Right now, Da Lung Han is super convinced that guy is Keenan. After Keenan was taken down, once Da Lung Han helped him deal with the aftermath, he started doubting his background. He's looking for someone to collect hair samples from the kid, and this time he's determined to get Keenan back by his side. In a field in the countryside, the director is telling Tahu Trach that he'll have him and Tue work together on a mission. Their progress is way too slow, and right now, our Tue is seriously pulling out radishes. A kid walks up to Tue saying, that radish is mine, move! Then he shoves Tue down. Keenan rushes over to hug his son and reminds that kid, hey, little dude, friends should love each other, why are you hitting him? A rising young star steps in, like, dude, we haven't even started filming yet, and you're already acting all high and mighty. Kid's just playing around, and I'm the dad in this show. No matter if the kid pushed, 200,000 fans will back us up. Keenan is like, no wonder the kid has no manners. Turns out it's the parents' fault. Just look at how you're acting today, and a star like you will be done for. Hearing this, that guy gets all mad like, you dare disrespect me? Today, I'm gonna teach you a lesson. But as soon as he tries to make a move, Keenan easily takes control. Keenan pats Tue's head. Tue, remember, we don't start trouble with others, but we're not scared of anyone who comes at us. That guy gets even angrier. Today I have to teach you a lesson. But just as he was about to make a move, Keenan easily controlled him. Keenan patted Tue's head. Tue must remember, we don't start trouble with others, but we're not afraid of anyone who comes to cause trouble. The pink-haired guy got even angrier at him.